South Africa will unveil their 15-man squad for the ICC World Cup this week, Thursday. Now, there's been plenty of talking points surrounding the makeup of the side, with Cricket South Africa announcing that they'll be relaxing quota requirements. Joining us once again to chat cricket matters this time around is sports journo Lungani Zama. Thank you once again for sticking around and chatting to us about this. What do you make of this relaxing of quotas?
I don't think it matters that much, Angie, if we're being honest, because considering the makeup of the team and the stars within that, they sort of take care of those quotas anyway. You know, sometimes we make headlines that are unnecessary just to prove that we're sort of doing our jobs. There's no need for that, because the Proteas team picks itself on merit with, you know, the representation that everyone wants to see.
I completely agree with you, by the way. Now, speaking of, I mean, the guys that are really coming to the party is our bowling lineup. They're doing superbly well, and I feel pretty confident in them. The batting lineup, not so much.
Yeah, look, it is a concern at times. I think South Africa definitely have an attack that can win them the World Cup. It's whether or not the batting will step up to the party when required, because, you know, teams like England and India these days are not scared of scoring 350 plus and just, you know, sitting on the accelerator for almost 50 overs. So if the bowling doesn't blow teams away, it then falls onto the likes of Faf du Plessis, Quinton de Kock, David Miller, JP Duminy to step up. And that's traditionally been the Achilles heel, sort of batting under pressure. That's where South African World Cups of the past have collapsed. So that will be the question that will need to be answered in late June, early July, if South Africa are to finally win the World Cup.
And the consistency just isn't there with the batting at this point in time, not every individual.
That's the problem. You know, Quinton de Kock has been a shining light this summer, and Faf du Plessis hasn't been far behind. But there have been several games, test matches, one days, where if one of them doesn't perform, the whole thing falls apart. And that's the big question mark, if as a unit South Africa can step up. And they've had a lot of top-order problems with Aiden Markram finally found some form at a very late stage, but there's been a lot of unsettling sort of concerns for selectors, for coaches. So it's, yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way they go on Thursday.
Now, Linda Zondi said that no one is guaranteed a place. It's really based on performance at this point in time. That means the likes of Hashim Amla, who hasn't played for a while, he's pretty much at risk of not being in that squad.
It's tough. It's tough on Hash because, you know, he's been dealing with a family illness, which obviously takes priority. So I think to try and perform on that background is difficult. But then again, it's tough for the selectors, because do you pick on sentiment and what's happened before, or do you really pick on form? Because he's barely played, and he's now played a few T20 challenges. But you can see that there's rust there. So do you trust on what you know from him in previous campaigns, or do you seize the moment and say you're going to go with a youngster who's never been exposed to that and comes with that you know, that question mark for both sides, because opposition won't know him either, whereas Hash, they may feel that they know certain things about his game, having seen him for over a decade. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Amla.
Now, you mentioned our youngsters. Now, we've got 3 youngsters who will probably make it into the squad: KG Rabada, Aiden Markram, and Petlakwayo. They were all part of the Under-19 World Cup squad that won 5 years ago. Now, they bring a certain pedigree with them.
Absolutely. I mean, they've won a global event, you know, which is a very un-South African thing in cricket terms. They're fearless. I mean, Kagiso Rabada is recognized as the world's best fast bowler, and he keeps on doing it time and time again. He did it again last night in the IPL. So there's that dreaded choke word that South Africans always come up with in the World Cup. These youngsters don't know what that means, because they only know winning. So to have that in the mix in the squad is huge, because there's a sense of belief that you know, we can do this. We shouldn't fear anyone, because we've come up against all the best in the world in our age group, and then we've graduated to the senior team, and we've still dominated and put up performances. So I think that makes a big difference in that team. Okay,
and a final question. We've generally gone into recent World Cups as one of, if not the favourite. We're not going to be this year. Do you think that'll play in our favour?
Hugely. You know, I think the expectation that gets created, even by us just as media, and then obviously by extension fans, when we're the #1 ranked one-day side in the world and we're thinking you should do it, you should do it. Now there's that sort of balanced opinion of we should compete, but, you know, India and England and Australia and all these other sides look in a better place. So actually slipping under the radar and just carrying on about your campaign might actually suit them. But we play Australia in the last game, and then there's a semi-final at Edgbaston, so that will be interesting.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be easy, let's be honest.
World Cup songs.
Yeah, I suppose that. You don't know a World Cup trophy and you think it's easy. All right, sports journalist Lungwane Zama chatting to us about that Cricket World Cup squad and the Cricket World Cup, which is literally on our doorstep. Now,